Warriors, NRL Fanatics, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and this is going to be my round 19 game preview between the NRL fixture, the Canberra Raiders vs NZWarriors, being played on Saturday the 23rd of July at 3 PM Australian Eastern Time at GIO Stadium down there in Canberra. But before getting into the team list, my predictions, as well as anytime try scorers, as well as key players to watch as well, and all that stuff. Look, this game in particular, when you look at it, Canberra Raiders, well, they're coming off that win over the Melbourne Storm down in Melbourne last week. They will take massive confidence going into this game this week. As for the Warriors, well, nothing to play for. You know, very competitive against the Parramatta Eels, but it was the second half that really let them down in terms of making a lot of errors and, just not taking the opportunities. But, let's get into the team list now. So we'll go through the away side first, and that is the New Zealand Warriors, and this is how they line up. So, at fullback, it is Chanel Harris-Tavita. On the wing, it is Jalen Watene-Zelezniak. He returns from missing last week's game due to COVID. Jesse Arthur's partners Adam Pompey in the centres there, and Marcelo Montoya is the other wing. In the halves, returning to the side is Dejan Arce. He partners Sean Johnson, and Adam Whanokpe is the prop. Wade Egan's the hooker, while Tohu Harris is in the other prop position. Ewan Aiken in the second row with Josh Curran, and Jazz Savanga is the lock. The bench is, surprisingly, big shock here, Reece Walsh is the 14, Bunty Afoa, Aaron Penne and Jack Murchie, and the reserves are Edward Cozy, Ronald Volkman, Freddie Lussick, Jackson Frey, and Elias Katoa is the 18th man. Now to the Canberra Raiders team, and this is how they were selected on Tuesday. Fullback is Xavier Savage, on the wing is Nick Kotrick, and in the centres is Matthew Tomoko and Sebastian Christ. Albert Hopewadi makes his debut, he's on the other wing, while Jack Whiten partners Jamal Fogarty in the halves. Josh Papali is the prop there, and Zach Wolford is the hooker. Joseph Tatapane is the other prop, while Hudson Young in the second row with Elliot Whitehead, and Adam Elliott is the lock. The benches, Tom Starling, Ryan Sutton, Emra Gula, and Corey Harawira-Naera. The reserves are Elijah Anderson, Brad Schneider, Ata Murata, Peter Holler, and Andrean Trevelyan. As for the match officials for this game, well, it is Chris Sutton, and Casey Badger is the senior review official. Now, look, Warriors team list. Well, yeah, big shock, like I said there, with Reece Walsh being named in the 14, demoted to the bench for Chanel Harris-Tavita. Now, interesting enough, both of these players will not be at the club at the end of the season. We know with Chanel Harris-Tavita, he's taking the long break away from the game. As for Walsh, well, he is off the Broncos next season on a 3-year deal. And if you're looking at last week's game in particular and who played well out of the players, you look at Chanel Harris-Tavita. I thought he played alright against the Parramatta Eels. As for Walsh, well, look, I think Walsh was very quiet in particular. So, look, Chanel has played a bit of fullback for us this year in particular, and I think when he's played fullback for us, he's done a pretty good job, actually. So, yeah, look, we saw against the West Tigers in particular that, he had a very good game in that position. And, look, you can argue the case, Chanel Harris-Tavita is leaving as well. Walsh is leaving. Why are they both in the side in particular? But, look, I think you got Dallin there. Dallin could easily shift in and play fullback as well. But I think Chanel is probably the best suited in that position. So, look, I like the move, actually. But the interesting thing will be, what will they do with Chanel Harris-Tavita? What will they do with Reece Walsh? I'll rephrase that. What will they do with Reece? When he comes onto the field, will they play him in the halves, or will they shift him to the fullback spot? So, yeah, that'll be very interesting to see what Stacey Jones does in that position-wise on the field. But besides that, Dylan Watini-Zelezniak's back. I think it's a great inclusion. His experience and, look, what he brings to the field is very valuable. So, yeah, I think we did miss him against Parramatta last week. So, overall, I think it's a pretty good and solid Warriors team on paper. As for the Raiders, very good team. I really like the looks of their lineup in particular. It's going to be interesting to see how Albert Hopewadi goes, making his debut for the Raiders, so that'll be very interesting indeed. But yeah, it's a good team on paper, and I like the looks of their forward pack in particular. The likes of Josh Papali, Tapanayan, who's having a very good season, a very in-demand player at the moment in terms of being off contract, and Hudson Young. Look, I really like the second row as well, and their locking position and Adam Elliott, and their bench is very good as well. So, moving into the betting prices, and what did the betting prices say, who's favourites? Well, no shock here, the Canberra Raiders, $1.28 favourites at Sportsbet. New Zealand Warriors are $3.75. And the head-to-head stats, both of these sides have played 43 times, and the New Zealand Warriors have won 21. The Canberra Raiders have won 22, so just slightly ahead in that head-to-head battle. The win-loss record, well, the Raiders are 8-9, Warriors are 5-12, and the last meeting between these sides was that Golden Point win by the New Zealand Warriors earlier this season, which I attended down at Moreton Daily Stadium in Redcliffe. That was a 21-20 scoreline, with Sean Johnson getting the field goal on that 30th of April 2022. As for the win record, well, at GIO Stadium, the Raiders do have an outstanding record there, 58%, 171 to 293. Warriors are 5 from 17 with only 29%, but we did win at GIO Stadium last week, coming from behind to beating the Raiders in an upset 34 points to 31. As for now the key players to look out for, in particular, looking into the Raiders, well, key players for me, obviously you got Jack White in there in the halves. You got Josh Papali, Joseph Tarpanay in that prop position, and you got Hudson Young in the second row. And I'm looking at Thomas Starling coming off the bench to bring a bit of impact for the Raiders, and the likes of Ryan Sutton and Corey Harler-Rare and Naira. So those are my players to watch for the Raiders, and also look out for Xavier Savage in the fullback spot as well, and Matthew Tomoko in the centres. As for the Warriors, I'm looking out for the key players in particular of Adam Finau-Blake, Wade Egan, Tohu Harris, Josh Curran, Ewan Aiken, and also Dylan Watini-Zelezniak on the wing there. And also I'm looking out for Bunty Afoa coming off the bench as well to bring a bit of impact to the side. Now, moving on now to the predictions for this game. Now, if you're looking at from what happened last week in particular and what the Canberra Raiders will have in terms of their confidence in how they went down to Melbourne and they beat the Melbourne Storm, that was a massive shock and surprise to me, and how they played in that game was particularly good, and their defence was outstanding as well. They really did well to keep Melbourne out a number of times. Yes, Melbourne did lose Ryan Pappenhausen early in the game, but Canberra were just so courageous, and their performance, really gives them a lift going into this one. And with that result last week, it keeps their finals hopes alive, their top 8 finals hopes alive. So if they can win every game from here on the season, they may sneak into that top 8 spot. So this is another pivotal game for the Raiders at home. They really should win this game. They are raging hot favourites, they should be. And I am going to, unfortunately here, tip the Raiders to win this game. I'm going with head over heart here. So Raiders by 28 points to 16. I think they'll be just too strong for the Warriors here. Down at GIO Stadium with a lot more to play for. And hopefully, the Warriors can be competitive with the Raiders in this particular game. So, yeah, I think the Raiders will unfortunately get the result. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm proven wrong in this preview. But, yeah, Raiders to be too good. But, yeah, that is the preview. That is my game preview for the Canberra Raiders vs NZWarriors Round 19 fixture. Let me know what your thoughts are on this game in the comments down below. And, yeah, if you are watching these videos and you haven't already done so already, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. And, yeah, it really is much appreciated. And also don't forget to like the video. Like the video. Click the thumbs up on the video. And, yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.